Or lie down. You're tired, huh? Oh, big yawns, big yawns. Are you excited to try out your new stuff? Yeah? Say bye. Bye. Now, next thing that I want to talk about is, I already opened this. It's a little puppy tooth brushing kit. So here you can see, there we go. There's a little bristle brush here and some toothpaste, and I already pulled this guy out, which is just like a little finger brush that's like, has these bristles on the one side. So I took him in for our second vet visit, and the vet tech recommended me to start brushing his teeth. And I was kind of just like, wait, what? Like, I didn't even know you had to brush dogs' teeth. Dental hygiene issues in dogs can become a serious problem with age. So a lot of chew toys and stuff will act as like something to remove that plaque and stuff. I asked my vet how often they recommend, and they said every day, and I was like, oh my gosh. They did say that I should start brushing his teeth now. But the girl at the pet store, who actually knew a lot, told me that there's not really much of a point in brushing their teeth when he's a puppy because he's gonna lose all his teeth. She did recommend I get this puppy kit, because you don't have to start using the toothpaste now, but it's a good idea to get them used to the motions of like you working on their teeth and get them okay with you handling their gums, which I'm all for. Just doing preventative measures now so I don't have a horror story later. Like, you can start with your finger just to get them used to working with you touching their teeth and their gums and opening up their lip and everything. So I sat him down for a session and he was fine with it. I just lifted his lip and he was like, okay, cool. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna try right away with the finger brush, and then next would be using the actual brush. Another thing that I never thought of was, if you see this brush, here we have, there we go. You can kind of see that it like is a lot different than a normal person brush. So dogs' teeth are a little bit different than us. We have those molars in the back that have like those, like just like some spaces in between where you want to rub a flat brush over, right? But their teeth are like pointy and tapered. So this brush is formed around that. So instead of like getting in those grooves that we have as people, you want something that kind of like, if you have your pointy tooth, you want something that kind of fits over top and gets those. Okay, so here we just have like a little toothpaste that comes in there. So there's that little kit that I honestly never thought about. Last but not least, so I also went to the pet store to pick up something for a friend of mine for their dog. This isn't for Archie, this is way too big for him. He does have one of these. Gorilla Chews are something that came out fairly recently to my understanding. They're kind of expensive, actually fairly expensive. It's basically wood that's been very, very, very smoothed down, so it's like so soft and so smooth. This is what the big one looks like. So I think this one was like $16. This one isn't for Archie. Archie has one, I'm going to show you. So this is his. So you can kind of see that he's taken quite the chomp into it. I got him the smallest one because he is still a puppy and you want to get them stuff that is proportionate to their bodies. You do want to have toys that match the different textures that they're going to crave to chew. So when you have a dog that likes to chew wood and wants to chew at your baseboards or just walls, or likes to chew on sticks and trees and or your wooden furniture, this is something that will match that texture. So it's nice and tough for them to chew. And the reason this is so good and you won't just give your dog like a stick to chew is because sticks will splinter and can get stuck in your dog's esophagus and then do a little bit of tearing. So you want to be really careful if they're out and about with some sticks. I know Archie loves to carry sticks, but I make sure that he doesn't sit down and chew them and like swallow the pieces. This is different because this wood actually like shaves off with how they chew it. So it will not splinter. It just kind of like crumbles and like makes these shavings when it comes off. Next up, I picked up for my friend's dog this stuffed antler chew. So I've been recommended antlers. I'm personally not going to give Archie one, even the small ones that are for younger dogs, because you can get a lot of problems if you give them something that's a little bit too tough to chew. It can break their teeth. Even if they're adult dogs, you really have to monitor when you give your dog like marrow bones or benko bones, which I personally love. You really want to be careful, because I do know there are some tough chewers out there that just chomp into the bone and can break their teeth. I have recently heard of a story from a friend of mine that their dog chewed into some sort of bone that she bought from the pet store, and then immediately like broke the tooth, and then some of the gum was showing and has to go in for a vet procedure, which is not cheap. So you really want to be careful with these harder chews. This gorilla wood has a bit of a give to it when you put pressure to it, so that's one of the reasons why I do like it. Bones and something like this antler chew, like this is really hard. I don't know if you heard that, but it's like, it's really, really tough and you can feel it. This is real antler with stuffing in the center. Next we have these cheese chews, which I've heard a lot of good things about. A good friend of mine actually got to meet the owner of, not the specific brand, the pet store brand is a little bit different, but this is basically the same product, I believe. So this is a this and that chew this Everest cheese chew in large. So that's what the packaging looks like. And then this is what the product is. So this little thing in the back here is an oxygen absorber. I don't know what the contents are of it, but I do know that it is not silica gel, which is something that is usually put in products, I believe, to like pull in moisture and stuff when products are being transported, but that's what you don't want in here. This is not silica gel, so that's kind of something that's pretty important, because this would get absorbed into the treat and then go into your dog's tummy. These cheese chews are great. They're made with just real cheese. It's got a lot of give to it, especially when the dog starts to salivate on it. It really softens up and it kind of breaks away. It's completely edible, which is great, because a lot of like dog chews you really have to monitor, and then the dog wants to start eating it, you have to take it away. Like this is really cool because it's like a treat. It lasts depending on the dog. I've seen dogs go through this in like 10 minutes, and for the price point that they're at, sometimes it's just not worth it. It's a bit more worth it to get something that's going to last a little longer. Usually they kind of chew it down to like a little piece. You can pop that piece in the microwave and then until it puffs up, and then it's like a toffee texture, and then after it cools down you can give it to the dog and they'll just like crunch away at it like it's a treat. It depends on your dog. If this will last a long time for them, it's a really, really, really good treat. Aside from that, that's all I have for today. If you have any questions about the products I've mentioned, you can leave it in the description below. That covers everything that we got today. I hope you learned a little bit of something, and yeah, I'm gonna show you Archie. Bye guys. Okay, yes, sit. Yes, good boy. Oh, what's this? What's this? Yes, good boy. Archie, hey, pop. Archie, sit. Sit. Yes, good boy. Oh, good boy. Good boy. Archie, sit. Sit. Good boy. Oh, yes, good boy. Oh, good boy. Yes, good boy. Oh, good boy. Yes, Archie, look. Good boy. Wow. Very nice. Very good. Good boy. That's a lot of fur. Sit. Good boy. Yes, good boy. Hey, come here. Come here. Good boy. Hey guys, so from the clip just before this one, you can really get a good sense of how I work with Archie, with a lot of behavior stuff and obedience. So what you really see here is me calling him over
him not being tied up or tethered or leashed up to anything. Like, he's here on his own accord. He can leave if he wants to. So I'm not forcing him to do anything he doesn't want to do. I'm letting him know that what's happening is good by doing a lot of vocal praise and a lot of positive markers and lots of treats for sure. And yeah, I'm just giving him a little taste of what it's like. This is his first actual like real brush session that we've ever really done. So it's a new experience for us, but he's doing pretty well, and you just kind of build up from here. You do this every once in a while, and he just kind of does his thing, and you just let them know that it's really not that scary and desensitize them to it. And if he walks away, I just call him back over and we keep going and try at it again. But yeah, he's doing really well in here.
Yes, buddy. Yes. Oh, good boy. Oh, good boy. Wow. Come here. Good boy. Sit. Yes, good boy. Good boy. So we just did a bit of a touch of a groom session, and I gave him one of those bacon treats that I was talking about before. A bigger bag that I picked up, and he seems to really enjoy them, so it was a good buy.